Welcome to Cuckoo Crazy Crochet. Hi, my name is Ronnie, and today we're going to make this adorable, tiny little snowman. He is about 2 inches wide and about 5 inches in length. If you hear noises in the background, I'm very sorry. My daughter is playing a game called Fortnite, and she tends to get a little loud. If she gets too loud, I will stop her. So what do you need to make this teeny tiny little snowman? You need some white yarn, a little bit of black yarn, a little bit of orange yarn, a little bit of green yarn, a little bit of red yarn, and a little bit of brown yarn. You will also need a pair of scissors, a 4mm crochet hook, a stitch marker, a darning needle, and 4 safety eyes. I'm using 6mm today. Get your hook and your white yarn ready, and I'll be back. And I forgot to mention, you will also need some stuffing. I'm using fiberfill. I don't know why, but I always forget the stuffing. Eventually I'll get it down. First off, we need to make a magic circle. And in this magic circle, we're going to do 4 single crochets. Round 2, 2 single crochets in each stitch. One, two, three, four, at the end of row 2 you should have a total of 8 stitches. In the third round, we will be putting 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. One single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and in the very last stitch you should be putting 2 single crochets. That brings the total up to 12 single crochets around. Round 4. In the first stitch, you'll be putting 1 single crochet. In the second stitch, 2 single crochet. And in the third stitch, 2 single crochets. And that's your repeat for this round. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and in the third stitch 2 single crochets. You should now have 16 single crochets around. Row 5, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches and 2 single crochets in the 4th stitch. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and in the 4th stitch 2 single crochets. That's your repeat. You should now have 20 stitches in round 5. Round 6, 7, 8, and 9, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each round, you should still have 20 single crochets. Don't forget to move your stitch marker. And I'll be back when mine is done. If your little snowman is starting to look like it's got a bee butt, you can push this tip in a little bit. At the end, I will show you how you can fix that. Okay, for round 10, it's time to do some decreases. So in this row, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then a single crochet decrease. And you can do the decrease any way you want. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and a single crochet decrease. That's your repeat all the way around. You should now have 16 single crochets all the way around. Row 11, 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. One single crochet in the next 2 stitches, then a single crochet decrease. That's your repeat all the way around. You should now have 12 single crochets all the way around. Row 12, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet decrease. After this row, we will put in the buttons and then stuff it a little bit. So your repeat is one single crochet in the first stitch and then a single crochet decrease. Okay, put your stitch marker in the back. And what I do is I put I count from the top row and I go down 1, 2, in between the second and the third row I put an I or a button, and then between the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 I put another one. And then you put the back on. Make sure you have these in the place you want them, because once you put these backs on, they don't come off. Now take your stuffing. We're going to stuff it just a little. You can put as much stuffing in or as less, however much stuffing you want. I like my amigurumis to be firm. Like I said, don't worry about this part here. We'll take care of it momentarily. Okay, once you get it stuffed the way you want it, we're going to move on to round 13. In this round, we're just going to do one single crochet in each stitch around. of this round, you should still have a total of 8 stitches. Row 14. We're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch around. You should now have something that looks like this. I'm going to put a little bit more stuffing in the neck. And now you should have a total of 16 stitches around. Okay, for rows 15, 16, 17, and 18, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of each row, you should have 16 stitches. You should now have something that looks like this. Row 19. 1 single crochet and a single crochet decrease. This is your repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet, then a single crochet decrease. In the very last stitch, you should have 1 single crochet. You should now have 11 single crochets all the way around. And at this time, we're going to put the eyes in. So I go in between the second and third round, starting from the top. Trying to get it so that the belly buttons are in between the eyes. And I have 2 holes in between the eyes. Once you're satisfied with the eyes, go ahead and put your backs on. And then we're going to stuff him some more. Okay, row 20 and the final row. We're going to do another round of 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then the single crochet decrease. One single crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet decrease. I'm going to do this all the way around. One single crochet, single crochet decrease. Now you should have 2 single crochets. There's 2 stitches left. We're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of those 2 stitches. And then in the following stitch, we're going to put a slip stitch. Then fasten off, leaving a long tail to close the end. I probably got too much yarn, but I'd rather have more yarn than not enough. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make your knot. Then we're going to just weave in and out between the single crochets until you go all the way around. Once you get all the way around, pull tight. And it should close. Then make another knot. And you can flatten the top part of this head. By crisscrossing the top. Now let's fix the butt, or the bottom of the snowman. So take your white yarn and go all the way to the bottom. What I'm going to do is come out between the very first stitch before the very first round and the second round. And then I'm going to cross and go back in over here. And then I'm going to do it again on the opposite side. That should give him a flat bottom. And now he can set up. So in order to finish off, pull on your yarn just a little bit and cut it off. And this is what your snowman looks like so far. He kind of looks like a peanut with eyes and a belly button. Okay, so put your white yarn away and get out your other little yarns. We're going to make everything else, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, first off I'm going to start out with a green, and I'm going to make a tiny little scarf for this little fella. So make a slip knot. And chain 30. And then the second chain from the hook, I go in the back loops. You don't have to. You can do this any way you want. But we're going to do one slip stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch all the way back down. Once you get to the end, leave a long tail. Well, not so long of a tail, but I like to put a couple stitches in my scarf when I put it on him so that it stays in place. This is what your scarf should look like. Just a little tiny one. And we'll set that aside. We'll make his tiny little arms next, so get out your brown. Make a slip knot. Make sure that your tail is a little bit on the long side. I'll show you why when we're getting ready to put the arms on. Now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and the third stitch. Then we're going to chain 3. And again, second chain from the hook, we're going to slip stitch. Third chain, we're going to do another slip stitch. In the same spot where we put the second slip stitch, we're going to slip stitch there. And then we're going to slip stitch in the last 3 stitches. And this is what your arm should look like. So pause the video here and rewind it and make a second one. So when you get your arms done, here's my two arms. And both tails are a little bit long. And we'll set those aside. Now, get your black yarn out. It's time to make the top hat. And I'll be back in just a minute. Okay. Once you have your black yarn, we're going to make a magic ring. And we're going to put 4 single crochets in the magic ring. And we're going to close the magic ring. Second row, you're going to put 2 single crochets in each of the 4 single crochets. And I'm going to single crochet over my tail. Now you should have 8 single crochets around. And I'm going to use a stitch marker. Row 3. I'm going to put 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. That's your repeat. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet. I hope you didn't hear her screaming. 2 single crochet. 1 more time, 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet. You should now have a total of 12 stitches around. Round 4. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and in the third stitch, 2 single crochet. That's your repeat. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet in the third stitch. You should now have 16 stitches. For rows 5 and 6, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You should still have a total of 16 stitches when you're done, and I'll be back when mine is finished. Okay, I'm here on my last stitch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the single crochet, but I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to add the red yarn, and we're going to put a row of red in. So now we're going to do 1 row single crochet with red. Then when we come back to the end, we'll change colors back to black. Okay, so I'm gonna, on my last stitch, I'm going to start with red, but I'm going to finish with black. So now you can fasten off your red yarn because we don't need it no more. And these 2 ends, we're just going to tie them. In a double knot. And then we're going to cut the excess off. And tuck this in the hat. Row 8, we're going to work 1 single crochet all the way around in the front loops only. You still should have 16 single crochets all the way around. Now we can do regular stitches. And for row 8, we're going to do an increase row. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 2 single crochet in the following stitch. That's your repeat all the way around. Row 10, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of the round, you should have 24 single crochets. You may go ahead and fasten off, but leave a long tail to sew the head on the snowman and to fix this top part of his hat. And then we'll start, I'll be back when mine is finished, and then we'll start sewing everything on the snowman. Okay, once you get your hat done, yeah, it's going to look something like this, kind of dorky looking. Now you can flip your brim up. I like to fold it up and then press around it. And fold it back down. And see, now it's standing on its own. I also like to stuff the hat a little bit. You can stuff the hat if you want, but you don't have to. Now we're going to take this tail put it in the inside of the hat. And we're going to go up and do the X like we did on the bottom of the snowman. Pull a little tight. There. Now it looks like a top hat. Okay, get your snowman and all your parts done. Put up all your yarn except for a little bit of black and a little bit of orange for the mouth and the nose. And I'll be back when I'm ready to show you how to put it all together. Okay, first of all, we're going to do his face. We're going to go one row down below the eyes. And let's see, we're going to go in through the side of the face. And you see this double crochet right there. Whoops. Right here. We're going to go around that. Just like that. It's going to be a tiny little nose. And we're just going to go around it several times. Until it looks good. So when I have mine done, I'll be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, I've went around 6 times. I'm going to pull my needle out where I originally went into. I normally make his eyes 3 holes apart, and then I go around 2 double crochets, but this time I didn't for some reason. So now we're going to fasten off the excess yarn. We're going to double knot this, and we're going to hide the yarn in the work. So going back in the hole where your yarn is, I'm going to pull it down to where the body is. Try and go through the single crochet holes. I'm going to go through it twice. I'm going to pull on my yarn and cut it off. That way it sucks it back into the body and you never know it's there. Now we're going to make this little guy a mouth. So get your black yarn. We're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to go in the side of his head. And I'm going to go in the hole that's right below his eye. Around to the other hole that's right below his eye. Then I'm going to find where the center, about the center is. Let's see. Let's go right there. Uh-oh, lost my yarn. Okay, I got a mess. I'll be right back. Okay. I backtracked and went out the wrong hole. So now, let's try this again. We're going to go right here in this hole. And we're going to pull the mouth down over your needle. And then we're going to go in the same hole, and this will hold the mouth in place. You might have to fiddle with it to get it to go the way you want it to. If you're pulling stuffing out with your needle, just pull it out. You'll be alright. Alright, that's what his face looks like. Once you're happy with his mouth, And go ahead and cut your yarn and do to your black yarn like we did with the orange yarn. Make a double knot and hide it in your work. I'll go ahead and pause the camera here and hide this in my work. Get your scarf ready and we'll put the scarf on next. Okay. Now we're going to put the scarf on. I'm going to see if we can tie it. Yeah. Okay. I tied it. And now I'm going to take the shortest tail and I'm going to go in my work, into the scarf, into the snowman, and come out right about there. Just like that. Then we're going to take this long tail and we're going to go right behind the scarf, go inside of it, come out somewhere else, and then we're going to go in, and every so often we're going to come up and put a little stitch in through the scarf into the snowman. And then we're going to put a little stitch around the neck every so often. Until we come to the other side. Pull this scarf down, this edging. We're going to put a little stitch up here by the top. And a little stitch at the bottom. And then we're going to come out, same place the other tail is. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the mouth. So I'm going to cut my yarn, make my knot, hide my end, then I'll be back. Okay, time to do the arms. I'm going to go in from the scarf. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. In between the third and fourth row, I'm going to have his little thumbs facing upward. Now we'll get the other end. You go in the bottom hole and out the side. Well, do we want it there or do we want it one row higher? Let's go one row higher. I don't like how it looks there. So we'll go through the second and the third row. Let's see how that looks. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm placing it about 3 single crochets over. I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on. And of course, I set the second and the third row and I put it on the third and fourth row. I should edit that out, but I think I'll just leave it in. I'm not perfect either. 1, 2. So, right here. Now that arm looks funny. Okay, so on this arm, I placed him between the second and the third row, and from the middle here he is 5 single crochets over. I think that's it. I'll do the same with the other one. So, second and third row down, 1, 2, 3, 5 single crochets over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plop them right in there, and you better look alright. Sometimes it's really hard centering your pieces. And that looks good to me. So now what we do is we take the 2 arm ends and pull them tight and then double knot it. And then do the same with the other one. Pull it tight so it don't go anywhere. And double knot it. And now I'm going to hide my ends, and when I'm done hiding my ends, I will be back and we'll put the hat on. And this is what your snowman should look like so far. So now you have to decide where you want to place your hat. Back here where the stitch marker was when we stopped and started, you need to put that in the back of the snowman. And you can either put your hat on here like this, or you can lean it to one side, the other side. I think I'm going to lean it a little to the left side of him. Maybe to the right. Get your darning needle. Get it ready for sewing. Okay, since I'm going to have it off to the side, I decided it would probably be best to get my pins out. I'm going to stick the pins down inside the hat into the head. This way, it'll hold the hat on while you put stitches in it. I got 4 pins, and just stick them down. Now see, the hat's not going to move. I'm going to go as close as I can to the long part of it right here. And we're just going to do like we did with the scarf. we're just going to put a couple stitches, go through the hat, go through the snowman. When you get so far, you can take out your pins. And then put another stitch in. When you get back where you started from, come out the back of the head, pull up the brim, go as close as you can to the hat. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but right here is where I went down into the snowman. See it? Right here. I'm just going to go around the stitch like that. And I'm going to make a knot right there. Pull tight. And then I'm going to go down and hide the rest of my yarn inside my work. If you find places where your snowman is a little flat from going in and out of him, I'll show you here in a minute. I got a couple places. Like in the back here. Just take your needle and go underneath the stitches and pull up on them. And they will pop back out. And this is what my snowman looks like. Tiny, easy, very cute. Might have to play with him to get him to sit up, since how you put the hat on crooked. Oops. Now I'm going to place him with my other snowman. I'll show you where. Okay, it's a little dark over here, but I hope you can see this. There. I set him on top of my TV stand with all my other snowmen. This one is a candy cane snowman. This one is a snowball snowman. This one is a Christmas light snowman. And that one there is a Hawkeye snowman. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the things that I've been making, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want notified the next time I upload a video. if you would like to see one of the other snowmans. They're a little bit bigger. Please tell me which one in the comments. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Bye.